Have you ever wondered why some men, no matter how average they seem, have women chasing them while you feel like you're always the one doing the chasing? It's not just your looks, your bank account, or even your smooth talking skills, even though those can help. It's something much deeper. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal to you a set of psychological secrets that attract women to you effortlessly. By the end of this video, you won't just attract women, you'll have them obsessively chasing you. But only if you stay till the very end, because the final principle we discuss will completely change how you see relationships forever. Are you ready? Comment "Ready" below, and let's dive into the truth. Number 1. The emotional blueprint of attraction. Let's start with a harsh truth. If you've ever wondered why she didn't call back, why she ghosted you after what you thought was a great date, or why she ended up with that guy you can't stand, it's not because you weren't good enough. It's because you didn't tap into her emotions. Women don't fall for men logically. They don't sit down and make a pros and cons list about why they should date you. No, attraction happens in the heart, not the head. It's raw, unpredictable, and entirely emotional. Here's a question for you. Have you ever seen a woman fall for a man who, on the surface, seemed completely average? Maybe he wasn't the tallest, richest, or best-looking guy in the room, but women were drawn to him anyway. Why? Because he knew how to make them feel special, feel intrigued, feel uncertain, feel alive. You see, emotions are the strings that pull the heart. When you understand how to play those strings, you become the man she thinks about when she lies awake at night. You become the man she compares every other guy to. But here's the problem. Most men don't understand how to create these feelings. They think being nice, buying gifts, and showing up is enough. But that's not what works in today's world. Women have endless options, and the only way to stand out is to make her feel something intense, something she can't ignore. Think about the guy who's always there, always texting her back immediately, always saying yes. Does she appreciate him? Sure. But does she chase him? Does she fantasize about him? No. He's predictable. He's too easy. Attraction dies in predictability. If you want her to chase you, you have to create a mix of intrigue, excitement, and yes, even tension. It's not about being mean or manipulative. It's about being magnetic. Here's a quick exercise for you. Think about a woman you've been interested in recently. Did you approach her trying to impress her? Or did you approach her with the energy of a man who already knows his worth? The first way feels like work, doesn't it? You're trying, pushing, convincing. But the second way, that's effortless. That's where real attraction starts. And that's what we're going to uncover in the rest of this video. Number 2. The importance of Stoic control. Let me paint you a scenario. You're talking to a woman, and things are going great. Then, out of nowhere, she says something that feels like a test. Maybe she questions your intentions, criticizes you, or brings up another guy she's been seeing. How do you react? Most men crumble under this kind of pressure. They stammer, get defensive, or worse, start trying to win her approval. But the man who stays calm, the man who meets her test with a quiet confidence and a playful smirk, that's the man she can't stop thinking about. Stoic control is the ability to remain unshaken in the face of chaos. And let me tell you, women test men all the time, not because they're cruel, but because they want to know what you're made of. Can you handle her moods? Can you stay composed when things get tough? Or will you fall apart the moment she challenges you? The answer to those questions determines whether she sees you as a leader or just another guy. Here's the truth. Women respect men who respect themselves, and respect is the foundation of attraction. If she senses that you're easily rattled or desperate for her approval, she'll lose interest faster than you can blink. But if she sees that you're steady, unflappable, and in control of your emotions, she'll start to see you as the kind of man who can handle anything. And that's incredibly attractive. Think about it. Why are women so drawn to characters like James Bond? It's not just his looks or his charisma, it's his composure. He could be in the middle of a high-stakes mission, surrounded by danger, and he'd still be sipping his martini like it's no big deal. That kind of unshakable confidence is magnetic. And the good news is, you don't have to be a secret agent to cultivate it. Start practicing Stoic control in your everyday life. The next time something doesn't go your way, resist the urge to react immediately. Take a deep breath, assess the situation, and respond with calmness and clarity. This isn't just about impressing women, it's about becoming a man who can navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. And trust me, when she sees that nothing phases you, she won't just be attracted, she'll be hooked. Number 3, understanding emotional tension. Now let's get into one of the most powerful concepts in attraction: emotional tension. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Emotional tension is the secret sauce that keeps women chasing. It's what makes relationships exciting, what keeps her coming back for more, and what separates you from every other guy trying to win her over. So, what is emotional tension? It's that feeling of uncertainty, of anticipation, of wanting more, but not being sure if you can have it. It's the reason people binge-watch shows with cliffhangers, the reason we're drawn to mystery and suspense. In relationships, emotional tension is what keeps her intrigued, what makes her think about you when you're not around, and what makes her want to be the one who gets your attention. Imagine you're texting a woman, and instead of replying instantly, you take your time. Not because you're playing games, but because you're busy living your life. She sends a follow-up text. "Hey, did you get my message?" In that moment, she's thinking about you, wondering what you're doing, why you haven't replied. That's emotional tension. It's not about being unavailable. It's about creating space for her to miss you. Emotional tension also comes from unpredictability. If she knows exactly what you're going to do or say at all times, she'll lose interest. But if you keep her guessing, if you mix kindness with playfulness, seriousness with humor, she'll never know what's coming next. And that's what keeps her hooked. Here's another scenario. You're on a date, and instead of showering her with compliments, you tease her a little. She laughs, but there's a flicker of surprise in her eyes. She's not used to a guy who can challenge her in a fun, light-hearted way. In that moment, you've created emotional tension. She's intrigued. She wants to know more about you. She wants to figure you out. But let me be clear, emotional tension is not about manipulation. It's about creating a dynamic that feels alive, dynamic, and exciting. It's about being the kind of man who keeps her on her toes, who makes her feel something real. And when you master this, you won't have to chase women. They'll be chasing you. Number 4, triggering positive emotional states. Let's talk about what makes a woman feel addicted to you. Women don't fall for what you say or even what you do. They fall for how you make them feel. It's not about logic, it's about emotion. And here's the kicker. Emotions are addictive. If you can make her feel a cocktail of positive emotions, joy, excitement, curiosity, and even a little tension, she'll associate all of those feelings with you. She won't just like you, she'll crave you. Think about it. Why do people keep going back to the same movies, songs, or experiences? Because those things made them feel something unforgettable. Women work the same way in relationships. If you're just nice, if you're always agreeable and predictable, she'll see you as safe but boring. But if you're the guy who knows how to trigger deep emotional highs, you become the experience she never wants to leave. So how do you do this? Let's start with joy. Women are drawn to men who know how to create moments of happiness. It could be a funny story you tell, a spontaneous adventure you plan, or even just a compliment that makes her feel seen and special. But here's the secret. Don't overdo it. Compliments lose their power if they're constant and generic. Instead of saying, "You look great," try something like, "You've got this energy about you tonight. It's hard not to notice." Now she's not just hearing the words, she's feeling them. Excitement is the next ingredient. Plan something unexpected. Don't just do dinner and a movie. Take her somewhere she's never been, or surprise her with a small but thoughtful gesture. Maybe you pick her up and say, "I have a surprise for you tonight." The anticipation alone will get her heart racing. And when the experience delivers, she'll associate that excitement with you. But the real magic happens when you combine joy and excitement with curiosity. Leave her wondering just a little. When she asks, "What are we doing tonight?" don't give her the full plan right away. Let her guess. Let her wonder. Let her build up that emotional anticipation. And when you finally reveal it, she'll feel like she's part of something special. The key is to balance these emotions. If you're always predictable, the excitement fades. But if you're always distant or mysterious, she'll lose trust. The sweet spot is being just unpredictable enough to keep her intrigued, while grounding her in positive emotional experiences. And when you master this, you won't just be someone she likes, you'll be someone she can't stop thinking about. Number 5. Mastering push-pull dynamics. Let me introduce you to one of the most powerful tools in attraction, the push-pull dynamic. This isn't just a strategy, it's a psychological dance that keeps women emotionally invested. Most men either push too hard, constantly showering her with attention, or pull too much, acting distant and uninvested. But the magic happens when you find the balance. Here's how it works. Push-pull is about giving her just enough attention to feel wanted, but not so much that she takes it for granted. It's about showing interest, then stepping back just enough to make her wonder where she stands. And when she's wondering, she's thinking about you. Thinking about you is what makes her chase. Imagine you're texting her and you're in the middle of a fun, engaging conversation. Instead of dragging it out until it fizzles, you end it first. Say something like, "This has been fun, but I've got to run. Let's pick this up later." Now you've created a push by engaging her, but you've also introduced a pull by stepping away on your terms. She's left wanting more. On a date, push-pull can be even more powerful. Let's say you're having a great time and she's laughing at your jokes. You lean in close, lock eyes, and say something like, "You're pretty charming. You might even be dangerous." Then, just as she's processing that, you lean back and change the subject. That's the push-pull in action. You've given her a moment of intensity, followed by distance. That contrast is what keeps her hooked. Push-pull works because it taps into a fundamental human need, the desire for what we can't fully have. When you're always there, always giving, always accessible, she doesn't have to work for your attention. But when you introduce a little unpredictability, a little space, she starts to value every moment she gets with you. And here's the best part. Push-pull doesn't just create attraction, it keeps it alive. Even in long-term relationships, mastering this dynamic keeps the spark from fading. But let me be clear, push-pull isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about creating a rhythm that feels exciting and alive. It's about being the kind of man who knows how to keep things interesting, who knows how to balance intensity with ease. And when you do, she won't just want to be around you, she'll feel like she needs to be around you. Number 6. Using fear and desire wisely. Now we're getting into the deep end, the intersection of fear and desire. Before we dive in, let me address something up front. When I say fear, I don't mean scaring her or making her feel unsafe. I'm talking about a very specific kind of emotional fear, the fear of loss. Because here's the truth. People value what they think they might lose, and women are no different. Think about it. If you had unlimited access to something, would you treasure it? Probably not. But if that thing was rare, if it could be taken away, you'd hold on to it tightly. The same principle applies in relationships. When a woman feels like she has to earn your attention, like your time and energy aren't guaranteed, she starts to value you more. Let me give you an example. Imagine you've been seeing someone for a while, and she's starting to take you for granted. Instead of complaining or trying harder to please her, you subtly pull back. You start focusing more on your own life, your hobbies, your goals, your passions. You're still kind and respectful, but you're not as available. What happens? She starts to notice. She starts to feel that little twinge of fear. What if I'm losing him? And that fear reignites her desire. But fear alone isn't enough. It has to be paired with desire. If she fears losing you but doesn't desire you, she'll just let you go. That's why you have to keep building that emotional connection, those moments of joy, excitement, and curiosity we talked about earlier. It's the combination of fear and desire that creates a powerful emotional bond. Here's another way to think about it. Fear is the spark, but desire is the flame. The spark gets her attention, but the flame keeps her coming back. And when you master both, you become unforgettable. But there's a fine line here. Using fear and desire wisely means never crossing into manipulation. It's about creating a dynamic where she values you, not one where she feels controlled. And the best way to do that is to always come from a place of self-respect. When you respect yourself, when you value your time and energy, she will too. And that's when the magic happens. Number 7. Cultivating mystery through Stoicism. Let me ask you this. Why are we drawn to unsolved mysteries, suspenseful movies, or enigmatic people? It's because the human mind craves answers to what it doesn't fully understand. When there's a gap in knowledge, we naturally want to fill it. The same principle applies in relationships. Mystery is one of the most powerful tools of attraction. And yet in today's world of oversharing and instant gratification, mystery is almost extinct. If you can cultivate it, you'll stand out from every other man she meets. But let's break this down. What does it mean to be mysterious? It's not about being shady or evasive. It's about being intentional with what you reveal and when. It's about letting her peel back the layers of who you are gradually, instead of dumping everything on her at once. Think of yourself as a story she wants to read, chapter by chapter, instead of a summary she can skim in 5 minutes. Now, how do you create mystery? Start with the art of selective sharing. When she asks about your past, don't give her a detailed timeline of your entire life. Instead, share snippets. Enough to spark curiosity, but not so much that she feels like she knows everything about you. For example, instead of saying, "I used to work as a graphic designer for 5 years before switching careers," you could say, "I've had a lot of creative jobs in the past. It's a long story, but maybe I'll tell you about it someday." See the difference? The first answer closes the topic. The second leaves her wanting to know more. Mystery also extends to your actions. Don't always be predictable. If you're always available, always saying yes, and always explaining yourself, you become transparent, and transparency kills intrigue. Instead, keep her guessing a little. Maybe you take a day or two to respond to her text because you're genuinely busy living your life. Maybe you surprise her with a spontaneous date or an unexpected compliment. The key is to keep her on her toes, never quite sure what's coming next. And here's where Stoicism comes in. Mystery isn't just about what you say or do. It's about how you carry yourself. A Stoic man is naturally mysterious because he doesn't overreact, overshare, or overcompensate. He stays calm, collected, and composed, even in the face of chaos. This composure makes people wonder, what's going on in his mind? What's his story? That wonder is what draws women in. For example, imagine you're on a date, and she tries to test you with a provocative question like, "Why are you still single?" Most men would either get defensive or try to justify themselves. But a Stoic man, he'd smile, take a sip of his drink and say, "I guess I just haven't met anyone who's convinced me to change that yet." That response is confident, mysterious, and intriguing all at once. It shows her that you're selective, that you know your worth, and that you're not in a rush to settle. Mystery also ties into scarcity. If you're always available, always accessible, and always an open book, she won't feel the need to chase you. But if you show her that your time and attention are valuable, that she has to earn access to your inner world, she'll value you more. And when she values you, she won't be able to stop thinking about you. Start by asking yourself, what parts of my life do I share too easily? Is it my emotions, my schedule, my goals? Then, make a conscious effort to pull back a little. Don't lie or hide who you are. That's not the point. The point is to let her discover you piece by piece, instead of handing her the full picture up front. The more she discovers, the more invested she'll become. Number 8. Emotional availability and its impact. Now let's tackle one of the most misunderstood topics in relationships: emotional availability. You've probably heard the phrase thrown around, "Women want a man who's emotionally available, right?" Well, yes and no. The truth is, women want a man who is emotionally intelligent, but not emotionally excessive. Let me explain. Being emotionally available doesn't mean pouring your heart out on the first date or sharing every thought that crosses your mind. It means knowing how to express your emotions in a way that shows strength, not weakness. It means being vulnerable, but only when the moment is right. And most importantly, it means being in control of your emotions, rather than letting them control you. Women don't respect men who are overly emotional. If you're constantly complaining, oversharing, or seeking reassurance, she'll start to see you as a burden, not a partner. But if you can show her that you're capable of handling your emotions, that you can face challenges without falling apart, she'll see you as a leader, someone she can rely on. Think of it this way: emotional availability is like seasoning. A little bit can enhance the relationship, but too much can ruin it. When you're selective about what you share, it creates a sense of depth and mystery. She starts to feel like she's earned your trust, like she's one of the few people who gets to see the real you. And that feeling is incredibly powerful. Let's say you're having a tough week at work. Instead of dumping all your frustrations on her, you could say something like, "It's been a challenging week, but I'm handling it. Let's talk about something more fun." This response shows her that you're human. You have struggles, but also that you're strong enough to handle them on your own. It makes her respect you rather than pity you. Emotional availability is most effective when it's gradual. You don't want to lay all your cards on the table right away. Instead, let her earn your vulnerability over time. For example, if she asks about your past relationships, you might say, "I've learned a lot from them, but it's not something I usually talk about right away." This response does two things. It shows her you're willing to open up, but only when the time is right. And that makes her even more curious about you. But emotional availability isn't just about what you share. It's also about how you handle her emotions. When she's upset, can you stay calm and supportive, or do you get defensive and overwhelmed? When she's happy, can you celebrate with her, or do you downplay her feelings? Your ability to navigate her emotions is just as important as your ability to handle your own. For example, let's say she's venting about a bad day. Most men make the mistake of trying to fix the problem or dismissing it altogether. But a man who understands emotional availability knows that sometimes all she wants is for you to listen. You don't have to solve everything, just be present, empathetic, and calm. That's what makes her feel safe, respected, and understood. Finally, remember this. Emotional availability is a two-way street. If she's not willing to meet you halfway, if she's constantly draining your energy without giving anything back, it's a red flag. Relationships should be a balance of give and take, not a one-sided emotional burden. Know your worth and don't settle for less. When you master emotional availability, when you balance strength with vulnerability, mystery with openness, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. You become the man who stands out in a sea of emotionally reckless guys. And that, my friend, is how you create a connection that lasts. Number 9. Building self-value. Let me tell you something that most men get completely wrong. Women don't chase men because of what the men offer them. They chase men because of how those men value themselves. If you don't see yourself as valuable, why should she? Building self-value is the foundation of every successful relationship, yet it's the one thing most guys overlook. They think they can fake confidence, buy her affection with grand gestures, or impress her with status symbols. But deep down, she knows the truth. Women are incredibly perceptive. They can sense insecurity, desperation, or a lack of purpose a mile away. Here's the harsh reality. If you're putting a woman on a pedestal and making her the center of your world, she's already losing interest. Why? Because you've made it clear that your value depends on her validation. That's not attractive. It's exhausting. Women want to be with a man who knows his worth, who values his time, and who doesn't need anyone else to define him. A man like that isn't chasing her because he's too busy chasing his own goals. So how do you build self-value? It starts with creating a life that excites you. What are you passionate about? What gets you out of bed in the morning? If you can't answer those questions, it's time to figure it out. Women are drawn to men with purpose, men who have a mission beyond just being in a relationship. When you're passionate about your life, that energy is contagious. She'll want to be a part of it, not because you need her, but because you're already whole on your own. Let me give you an example. Imagine two men. One spends his free time scrolling social media, complaining about his lack of success, and waiting for a woman to come along and fix his life. The other is constantly improving himself, reading books, hitting the gym, learning new skills, and pursuing his dreams. Which one do you think she's going to chase? The second man doesn't even have to try. His self-value is evident in everything he does. But self-value isn't just about accomplishments, it's also about boundaries. If you don't set boundaries, if you let people walk all over you, you're telling the world, and her, that you don't respect yourself. And if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect her to? For example, if she cancels plans at the last minute, and you immediately reschedule to accommodate her, you're showing her that your time isn't valuable. But if you calmly say, "No worries, let me know when you're free again," and then go about your day, you're setting a boundary. You're showing her that your time matters. And trust me, she'll notice. Building self-value also means embracing rejection. Not every woman will be interested in you, and that's okay. When you tie your self-worth to whether or not she likes you, you're giving her all the power. But when you see rejection as part of the process, as an opportunity to grow, you take that power back. Rejection doesn't define you, it refines you. Every no brings you closer to the right yes. And when you carry yourself with that mindset, Women can feel it. They can sense that you're not desperate, that you're not afraid of losing them. And that confidence, it's magnetic. Finally, self-value is about consistency. It's not something you turn on when you're around her and then forget about when you're alone. It's a way of life. It's how you treat yourself, how you spend your time, and how you show up in the world. When you live with self-respect, when you hold yourself to high standards, she won't just be attracted to you, she'll admire you. And that admiration is the foundation of a deep, lasting connection. Number 10. The long-term power of emotional stability. Now let's bring it all together. We've talked about emotional tension, mystery, self-value, and so much more. But none of it matters if you can't sustain it. Attraction may start with sparks, but it lasts with stability. Emotional stability is the glue that holds everything together. Without it, the connection you build will eventually crumble. Emotional stability isn't just about staying calm in the face of challenges. It's about being consistent in who you are. Women are drawn to men they can trust, men who don't change their personality based on their mood or the situation. If you're kind one day and cold the next, if you're confident in the beginning but insecure later on, she'll start to question the foundation of the relationship. Stability creates safety, and safety is what allows her to open up and truly connect with you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been around someone who was unpredictable in a bad way? Someone whose moods swung wildly, who couldn't control their temper, or who made you feel like you were walking on eggshells? It's exhausting, isn't it? Now imagine being the opposite of that. Imagine being the man who is a source of calm in her life, who can handle whatever comes his way without losing his cool. That's emotional stability, and it's one of the most attractive traits you can have. How do you cultivate emotional stability? It starts with self-awareness. Pay attention to your triggers, the things that set you off emotionally, and work on responding to them instead of reacting. For example, if she says something that feels like a criticism, resist the urge to get defensive. Instead, pause, take a breath, and respond with curiosity. Ask her what she meant, or simply let it go. Emotional stability isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about choosing how you express them. Another key to emotional stability is managing stress. Life is full of challenges, and how you handle them says a lot about who you are. If you're constantly overwhelmed, it's going to spill over into your relationships. But if you take care of yourself, through exercise, mindfulness, and pursuing your passions, you'll be better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. And when she sees that you can navigate life's ups and downs with grace, she'll feel more secure in the relationship. Consistency is also crucial. If you say you're going to do something, follow through. If you make a promise, keep it. This might sound simple, but it's something many men overlook. Your actions should align with your words. When you're consistent, she doesn't have to second-guess your intentions or your feelings. She can trust you, and trust is the foundation of long-term attraction. Finally, emotional stability means being comfortable with uncertainty. Relationships aren't always easy, and there will be moments of doubt, conflict, and change. But if you can stay grounded during those moments, if you can lead with confidence and clarity, you'll set the tone for the entire relationship. She'll see you as her rock, her safe haven, the one person she can count on no matter what. Here's the bottom line. Women don't want perfect men. They want men who are real, who are strong, and who are steady. Emotional stability isn't about never feeling anything. It's about being in control of your feelings instead of letting them control you. When you embody that, you don't just attract women, you keep them. By now, you've unlocked the secrets to transforming your relationships and your life. It's not about chasing, begging, or hoping she'll notice you. It's about becoming the man she can't help but be drawn to. A man who values himself, who creates emotional tension, who carries himself with mystery and stability. These aren't just strategies. They're a way of life. When you embody these principles, you'll see the difference not just in how women respond to you, but in how the world treats you. You're not just here to survive, you're here to thrive. Now it's time to take action. The knowledge is in your hands. The next step is yours. If this resonated with you, don't just let it end here. Hit the subscribe button and become part of a movement of men committed to mastering themselves and their relationships. Your support not only helps this channel grow, but it also ensures that more men like you discover this life-changing content. Drop a comment below with this phrase: I choose to lead, not chase. Because when you take control, everything falls into place. And don't forget to like this video and turn on notifications so you never miss another insight that could redefine your future. Let's grow, let's lead, and let's thrive together.